What kind of feeling you have about this team 24 hours before the opener?
There's a feeling of excitement. Um, it's a promising young roster that has grown some, and we're looking to continue the growth.
What excites you the most about this team?
That we have an all-star point guard, and I like the moves that we've made. I like that we brought Bruce Brown on board. I like that we brought Obi in. I like our draft choices. I think the organization's done a really good job of turning the roster over in the last year and a half, and now we want to take some additional steps, and win more games.
What are those additional steps?
Win more games.
How have you seen the defense improve from last season?
Well, our approach has changed somewhat, and we've seen progress at times. Fouling has been an issue, so we're going to have to continue to work at defending without fouling. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 3 weeks. You're not going to solve it in one training camp. It's going to be an ongoing thing.
Any points of emphasis with Washington?
Transition defense is probably the first thing, because Poole, Kuzma, and Muscala are both very dangerous three-point shooters. They both can flick the wrist from almost anywhere. Muscala is a backup center, but he had 5 threes in the first half of the New York game a few days ago. Poole has had a couple of explosive games in preseason, and Kuzma is always a problem for us. He's played well here, and he's a 6'9", 6'10" guy that can shoot threes, drive it, and make floaters. He's really a dangerous guy, and both him and Poole get to the free throw line too.
All the teams you've coached, at the end of training camp, do you usually have a really good sense of what the team is going to be, or do you, on occasion, find yourself surprised?
Good question. It's varied so much over the years, but I think overall there's a real positivity about this group. I don't know what the win total is going to be. I don't like getting into that for reasons I've explained before. But we're excited. We want to get going.
What kind of impact has Bruce had on this defense?
Bruce is considered a tier 1 wing defender, perimeter defender in the NBA on NBA metrics. And so one of the reasons we brought him on board was to add another strong defender to the mix. To get your defense better, there are certain things you do from a strategic standpoint, but having good defensive players is also a good way to improve.
Any health concerns tomorrow, or feeling fully healthy?
Well, as of right now, everything seems to be in a good place.
What are you the most excited about, and what have you kind of seen the growth of this group over training camp and preseason?
Just the opportunity. I think that's what I'm most excited for. I think there's a lot of expectations, a lot of excitement around this the city, for what's to come. We've got some new good additions and whatnot. We've had a great training camp. I think our chemistry has grown, just even in the past 3 weeks, has grown immensely. So excited for the opportunity.
What's the biggest area you think you guys are better than you were when you started in October?
Say it one more time, sorry.
What's the area where you think you guys have made the most improvement just since the beginning of October? Where's the biggest?
Our communication's gotten a lot better, man. I would say. I think there was times last year where, we were trying to do things, trying to communicate the right things, we just didn't execute. But our communication has been flawless. I think a lot of that's comes through leadership, and I think that's what's grown the most, personally.
With Toppin and Brown's additions, how do they elevate this team?
They make us more dynamic defensively. I think that's a big thing as well. Getting bigger in the front court with Obi, and then having a known one-on-one defender like Bruce is huge. And offensively, just adds more and more weapons. Obi has a lot, in his package, and Bruce has been around for quite a bit. He's been a part of the championship team. Has been a part of other organizations, other offenses. So he brings a lot of knowledge and wisdom, just to what we got going right now.
been like the last couple of years watching the playoffs, not being part of it?
Man, that's a candid question. It sucks. I'm not gonna even go dive into that too much. I mean, we want to be back where we know we belong.
What makes this team capable of doing that this year?
I just think, like I said, with the new additions and just kind of a new mindset, that's what makes things possible. I mean, I think we got to go out there and execute. I can sit here and talk about it and tell you all we want to, but until we actually go out there and execute it and do what we know we're capable of doing, we got to let our play speak for itself.
What's the vibe around this team right now with game 1 tomorrow and all the expectations coming along with it?
It's upbeat, man. I really think that, like I'm saying, you sense the excitement around the city, especially the All-Star game coming in, just a different format with the in-season tournament, just different stuff to look forward to, different opportunities. So I'm excited. I know these guys are excited. We've been beating up on each other for the past 3 weeks, so, it's time to get some good, fresh competition.
We asked you about Go ahead, guys.
How's your opinion changed about this team now, having seen it and been with it for the last 3 weeks, if at all?
I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, I would say, coming into it. I wasn't around too much in the summertime. I came out here pretty late, but just being around it the past 3 weeks, I've seen just how that, people talk about bringing in younger guys, but, just having like a younger spirit in the locker room is big. For guys that haven't really been there before, it brings like a refreshing type of feel to the locker room. It just feels renewed. So I'm excited, bro. I mean, that's the biggest thing I can relate to y'all is that, I'm healthy. I'm in a good place mentally. Don't have to fight as many trade rumors as I have in the past. So, I'm locked in and secure where I'm at. So, I'm just excited to just get the ball rolling.
We asked you about the chemistry between you and Obi after the games. I mean, how have you guys continued to build on that in terms of just how you operate when one of you is rolling and the other is spacing? How is that just kind of
Yeah, me and Obi's on and off the court. I think we have a good relationship off the court, which translates to a relationship on the court, where it's easy to communicate with each other. He tells me all the time, if I'm messing up and I'm screwing up, get on me or tell me, and vice versa. And I think that's another thing I've learned over this past 3 weeks is that we're good at taking work. Accountability is a good word for this group. We're good at taking harsh criticism from each other, and that's what makes I think separates a good from a great team. So back to Obi, I think the way he rolls, when I'm able to shoot. And his ability to open up the floor for me down low in the paint, it just kind of works all well off each other.
You guys talked last year a lot about being truth tellers to each other, being willing to hold each other accountable and not being a problem. Have you guys taken another step with that? And if so, what's even? It seemed like it was good last year. What's better now? Yeah, no. Last year, I don't think we were as receptive to it. I think that we heard it, but you take it to heart a little more personally. At the end of the day, we're all human. You hear something about your ego gets checked and whatnot, you're gonna feel a certain type of way. But I think pushing that ego to the side is one thing that's been a lot better over these past couple of weeks, and what's gonna have to continue to get better. We got to be able to be grown-ups, professionals, and talk to each other like we need to be talked to sometimes.
This will be your 6th year with TJ. He had another solid preseason. What stands out to you about his consistency year to year as a player?
Man, TJ's someone who, I came in with him during a couple pre-draft. He didn't get drafted. He was someone who had to kind of fight and claw, for his opportunity. And I think he takes that same mentality, year in and year out. He's someone that nothing's guaranteed for him, and he knows that. And just the way TJ plays, as hard as he plays, that's never going to change. And I think just the way, the mentality that he built coming into the league, just pushes into what he is now.
For a team with competition for minutes, do you feel like his mentality is built for that, honestly?
Yeah, it has to be. I think if anything, it pushes the guys behind him. Seeing that you have a guy going in that hard every single day, you see what the bar is and where you need to be.
To that end, have you gotten a good idea of how guys will handle the competition for roles at the end? I mean, there will be 2 or 3 guys that could be playing and will not.
It's gonna be hard, man. I empathize, with the guys that don't. But at the end of the day, we have so much talent on this roster that whatever you do here in training camp, whatever you do here in practice, is what's going to translate to the game. And that's what the coaches feel. Coach got to be comfortable, with putting certain guys out there. And out here, this training floor is where you prove to those coaches where you're going to be the most comfortable. So it's definitely rough. It's part of the job. It's part of being a professional, and everybody has to wait their turn.
Bruce, your first game as an Indiana Pacer coming up tomorrow. What are your emotions like being here in Indy?
I'm just ready to go. Preseason's been long, training camp's been long. Rick's been trying to kill us, so I'm ready to go.
How have you settled into your new team?
Very easy. They're very young. They talk a lot of trash, joke a lot. I think this is the first team I've been on where a lot of people stay in the locker room after practice and talk. So it's great. It's kind of like a college field.
What way do you joke how Rick's trying to kill you?
It's a lot of running. I mean, we play fast, so it's good running, but I'll be dead.
Never had that before in the NBA?
Nah. I mean, Dwayne Casey was a little different. He's a little old school, a lot old school.
Is that the sign for old school?
So, Yeah, I haven't had it in a few years.
How
Are
do
you
you
enjoying that part? Are you enjoying the games when you're playing with Ty and you're running?
Yeah,
up and
it's
down,
great,
all
and
that opportunity?
especially being competitive in practice when Drew, TJ's a handful to deal with in practice also. So we're just first unit and second unit making each other better.
How is this team compared to all the other teams that you've been on preseason, looking ahead to game one?
A lot younger than what I'm used to for sure, but good, fast, get up and down. A lot of threes, transition dunks. Obi, obviously, you've seen what he did last game, so it'll be fun.
You've been brought in to help this defense. How have you seen, as a defensive leader, this defense improve ahead of the season?
Yeah, I've said I'm here to help, obviously, defensively, but Myles is our anchor. He protects the rim, and teams like to get to the rim. So me, I'm just trying to make it tough for the opposing guards, offensive player, or you know what I mean. The opposing offensive player's best guard player. Just try to make it tough for him. Just try to be physical. And I mean, it's not just me; it's a team thing.
How have you seen the whole team improve then?
It's been good. Ty needs to stop getting rejected. But other than that, we've been great. Communicating out there, so we've been cool.
At the end of a training camp, can you tell or have a good sense of what the team is going to be? Or
No. I think there's a lot of ups and downs throughout the season. Even last year, we had a lot of ups and downs. So you didn't know how good we're going to be and how we were going to deal with the ups and downs of the season. So I don't think the start is the best time, but towards the middle of the season, you should know.
You talked at the beginning of preseason about how good of a defender Ben can be, and that was something that you were really working on, trying to make him better.
Yeah.
What kind of strides have you seen?
He's been great. He's been great. Super strong. We've been talking about he uses his hands a little bit, and they like to call that on younger players. So he's been really good. He's going to be really good for us. And as you see in the playoffs, sometimes he'll take the match up. He'll give me a break. So we'll be back and forth, I'm sure.
What's the next most important stride for him to make, do you think? I mean, you say he's got the body, he's got the quickness.
Just communication. He's kind of quiet when he wants to be, but he shows that expression out on the floor. But just talking to his teammates, and he'll be fine.
How do you see this team match up against the Wizards?
I think we're good. Obviously, they have some great scorers in Kuz and Poole, and there's some great vets with Tyus. Gafford been in there. I love Denny. Denny's a 6'9", 3-man. So I think we're fine. The coaches prepared us well, so we can't wait for tomorrow.
What do you anticipate your emotions being like for ring night tonight if you watch it?
I actually just texted the guys. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be cheering them on because those are my guys. So I can't wait to see what the ring look like because I haven't seen it. So I'm happy for them.
You get it when you guys go there, right?
Yeah, we get it in January. I get it in January. So I get my own little,
Your own
show.
ceremony.
Yeah, my own ceremony.
where do you think you'll keep it? Do you think you'll?
So I'm actually buying a house this year, so I'll keep it in the safe in my house back in Boston.
Is that a group text or?
Group text, yeah. We still got our group text going. We text it probably every day. So when the guys act like they don't like me, they love me.
Talk to Popeye Jones about his experience. What do you remember about working with Pop this last year?
Pop is my guy. When I think he kind of like when everything was real serious, he kind of lightened the mood, which was great. And he knows what he's talking about. He's played. He loves his little right-hand jump hook. He used to do that before practice every day. So just being around him was great for me.
He also said after winning the title for the first time now, he feels that taste of wanting
Another one
right
yes.
away. Do you have that as well?
100%. There was nothing like the parade was insane. Seeing 800,000 people there, and then going around the city. And I think I was talking to people. That's the only time it's like acceptable to drink in front of everyone, I feel like. So it was fun. It was just a great experience, and I can't wait to get there again.
How do you kind of bring that energy to this group who, for a lot of them, they haven't been in that situation?
I think for a young team, you just got to focus on the little things because they can stretch out throughout the season and hurt you. So once we do that, and we don't have any problems right now, but once we figure those things out, trying to nip those in the butt, we'll be a great team.
Less than that. 150 batting average.
Ty, what are the feelings like with first game coming tomorrow?
I'm excited that training camp is done, excited preseason's done, and get back to the real game. So it'll be fun tomorrow, and just looking forward to building on what we've been able to do in the preseason and, taking tomorrow as a stepping stone and using that to build the rest of the year.
Sorry, go ahead.
How do you feel like you guys have made strides throughout the preseason and training camp?
I feel like we've been better defensively of running teams off three-point line, finishing possessions. We played Cleveland last game, who obviously they didn't have their other big, but it's a team who's dominated us on the glass last year, and I thought we handled that pretty well. So, I just want to keep building on stuff like that. Offensively, makes and misses. You can't control that every night. Like, we know we're going to get the right shots for us, and shots are going to go in some games, and they won't other games. But as long as we're making strides on the defensive end, I think that's what we want.
What excites you the most about the differences that this team is compared to last year's team?
I would probably tell you I'm excited about
having some expectations. I guess I've never been on a team before that's had real expectations, and although I don't know what they are from people, I do think that some people believe that we have a chance to be a playoff team, whereas last year that would have never been a conversation. So, to have that be talked about, I think is interesting, but just looking forward to another year of building.
What makes this team capable of living up to playoff expectations?
I think everybody's going to harp on our depth, that we have a lot of guys, but I would just say we're playing the right way and bought into the style of basketball that is being preached from our staff offensively and defensively. And last year I thought when healthy we were in a good position to make a playoff push, and that's the goal this year as long as we can stay healthy.
How have the additions of Obi and Bruce elevated this team?
I just feel like they're two guys that fit our system, fit the way we play, and are bought into what we need to do. And obviously Bruce won a championship last year. Obi's played playoff basketball the last couple of years. Just more guys who have won before. And just, I think them coming along, they want to make the playoffs as much as everybody else.
As the leader of this team, how do you talk to those guys that are just outside the rotation to kind of stay ready? This is kind of part of your NBA process.
Yeah, I think it's just part of the growth of it. And at the end of the day, when we practice the second, third team, that's their time to really shine, get after us, and pushing us. Those guys pushing us helps us be ready for real games and stuff like that. And that's just part of the NBA. Injuries happen, trades happen, releases happen, everything happens in the NBA. So you just gotta be ready, because when your name's called, you gotta be ready for that opportunity. So I feel like we have guys that understand that, and we'll be ready when their name's called.
When you talked with Bruce about championship, whatever, experience, the highs, the lows, do you have a grand takeaway of that moment, or what it would take to get there, or what you want to do?
I think we talk about it all the time. I don't know if I have a grand takeaway. Just the biggest thing with him is just talking about how connected the group was, and then at the end of the day, it came down to, obviously Jokic is going to do what he does, but just guys, around him making plays when it mattered, big games from him, Christian Brown, just guys like that, being able to step up when their name is called, and some we just talk about just guys being ready when their name is called to, whatever the opportunity is.
You knew when you got Obi that he was, really important in transition, really helpful in transition. But you've actually been able to work with him, running with him. What makes him so good in there? Not just the athleticism, but the other kind of pieces of it that makes him.
I think he just has a knack for getting ahead of the defense on runouts and stuff. He's really a leak out guy, but obviously we're working on that a little bit right now. But I do think even if he doesn't leak out and he's neck and neck with somebody, I trust him to win that foot race more times than not. And that's just the biggest thing, is him understanding how great of an athlete he is. And if he's side by side with somebody, he's usually going to win that race. And if he's not going to win that race, he's 6'9", so he can figure it out up top. But I think that's been probably the most underrated part of it, is people don't understand how fast he gets out of, from defense to offense.
How important are the hands too? And that's the other piece to it. Is that's one thing his coaches at Dayton said, is he's got really good hands in transition. He was running at him. It's kind of an important small piece.
Yeah. I just think, like I said, if more times than not, if he's in a foot race, I'm just going to put the ball in the air. Not for him to catch an alley-oop or anything, but I just trust that he's going to bring it down more times than not. He just has a great knack for that, and I think that's why he fits so well.
Coming off an all-star season, what are your expectations for yourself?
Help lead the right way and help win. Individually things take care of itself the way they're going to, and usually if we're winning and doing the right things as a team, I'm probably taking care of business individually, so I just want to win.
How about seeing another one of your draft class guys like Aaron get paid?
Yeah, it's funny. We were just talking about it back there. 2020, I remember we were getting drafted, and they were saying our class was trash and probably worst class in the last decade, yada, yada, yada. We've had, I think 14 guys sign extensions, record amount of money, obviously, that's going to come as the years go on with money. But we just have a lot of guys who, have found their way in this league and found a way to stick, and a lot of guys like Tyrese Maxey and other guys who, like Tyrese is going to get paid a lot of money. It's just a matter of when. I think just seeing guys get paid, I think is really I enjoy that a lot, and I think as a group, I think we probably all share that within each other. I think that we've all spoken many times about how they thought our class was going to be trash, and how we've stepped up and been able to find our places in this league, and it's just cool to see guys who come into the league with thrive.
How do you match up against the Wizards?
I think it'll be interesting. Two teams that like to get up and down and play in transition, and that's gonna be a game that is like watching a tennis game, just up and down, up and down. That's exciting. I think that brand of basketball fits what we want to play and fits what they want to play. So that'll make it a fun game for everybody.
You mentioned at your exit interview last year that internal expectations will be important this year. Would you say those match what you just referred to, those external ones?
Yeah, for sure. We look at ourselves as a team competing for the playoffs. We don't want to be in the play-in. We want to make the playoffs. That's our goal internally, and we believe that we have the pieces to do that. And it's not easy. The NBA is never easy, and where we're at right now as a league, there's probably more parity 1 to 30 than there probably has been in as long as maybe ever, honestly, for me myself. And positionally, I think the point guard position is probably in the best state it's ever been in this league as well. So I do think that anything can happen. There's teams that have expectations that if health doesn't go the right way, you have a bad skid where you lose 7 out of 8 or whatever, that could really mess up your season because of how good teams are. So we just got to approach every day the right way, approach every game the right way, and just be able to manage games the way that we see ourselves doing.
Do you have an opening night tradition at all? Movie the night before?
Nah, nothing. I just tired of the preseason. I'm so tired of it. So just so excited to play a real game.
Bruce said that Rick tried to kill you.
All of you.
Conditioning.
Not just you
specifically.
Well, Bruce came from Brooklyn and Denver, teams that are expected to be the 1 seed. So I doubt Bruce has practiced in the last 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I guess so. I mean, we did run a lot. Like I said, I'm just so glad the regular season is here.